Hey guys, this is Eric B. Horn, and welcome to my session of the Career Clarity Virtual Summit. If you have been following the majority of the interviews thus far, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for your time, your effort, and your energy. And I'm hoping that you are taking in a lot of information based off of the experts. I know that when I initially wanted to create this summit, my main thing was to give you guys as much value as possible. And I hope thus far, based off of the videos, we've done thus that. But now we are at the middle of the summit where I will give you a better understanding of me. And then also I will give you my topic, which is the 5 ways to find the clarity, confidence, and satisfaction you desire in your career. First and foremost, the reason why I chose this topic was I was relatively lost early in my career. I was riding high, meaning I was making a lot of money. I was very successful in the first 4 years of my career. Then a monkey wrench was thrown into the play. And this monkey wrench, I will go into more detail with my session. But once that monkey wrench was thrown into play, it threw everything off, or so I thought. But in actuality, what initially came to be a overall challenge in my career was an ultimate blessing because it helped me streamline what I really wanted to do. It also gave me a better understanding of what I was doing wrong. You know, I had to look myself in the mirror and say, what are you doing wrong in your career? And as I go through the overall presentation, it was a very big challenge. No one wants to hold themselves accountable. Just like me, I was very arrogant, and I was better at holding other people accountable as opposed to holding myself accountable. But at the end of the day, that particular moment, once again, which I'll explain to you guys in a minute, gave me the clarity, the confidence, and the satisfaction that I needed to know exactly what I needed to do with my career. First, a little bit more background information on me. I am the founder of Eric B. Horn Career and Business Solutions, which is a career management and professional development firm. We focus on entry-level professionals all the way up to senior level managers. I really don't touch on executives because I'm not an executive, and my biggest piece is I want to be fully transparent with the people that I work with. You know, I don't want to guide someone throughout their career if I haven't hit that particular piece or situation in my career. So I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer, but within all of that, I think the best part about me is I'm a husband and a father of a 4-year-old girl, which is a job within itself. So any parents out there that are viewing this session, I definitely, take my hat off to you because being someone who's attended to someone who's a child, it's a lot of work, but we do it at the end of the day for their overall enjoyment. So being a husband and a father is definitely a plus, right? So the next 30 minutes, I will touch on the 5 things that gave me the clarity, the confidence, and satisfaction that I needed to get to my career. And also, like I said, I want to be very transparent. What I'm going to explain to you guys is everything that I took myself through and taken a lot of my clients through also. I'm very, very big on tangible results. I'm very big on giving advice that actually helps, not just coaching or training or speaking just to get a check. If you're in it just to do that, you're probably in the wrong business. You want to be compensated based off of what you do, and I feel that everyone should be compensated to the highest of their ability. But if you're just doing it for the money, people will be able to see through that. And when people see you, you want them to know that you are transparent and you are in the business of changing people's lives. So even before we go into the content, I always have a couple of ground rules that I would want to tell my audience. So it's only right for me to share that with you also. First, we're going to have some fun. Even though this is another session and I want you to learn and take away from it, I want you to have a good time, right? I enjoy what I do. It's my passion. And hopefully if you are in a career rut, so to speak, or you need some career direction, hopefully you'll be able to laugh at some of the content, but also take it seriously. But when in doubt, we're going to have a lot of fun. Also, I will give you 100%. I'm very introverted, so that doesn't mean shy for anyone who still doesn't understand what's the difference between someone being introverted and shy. But my energy, I will make sure that I'll give you 100%. I'm very satisfied anytime that I do some sort of presentation. If I'm tired after that, that means I've given you all of my energy. I've given you over 100%. So I know that I've served you well. Also, this will be somewhat interactive. Throughout this presentation, I have a couple of questions that I will want you to write down and think about. Hopefully, when you are looking at this session, after I ask these questions, you'll be able to pause the presentation, and then you'll be able to really think about how you're answering. Once again, I'm not looking for someone to just answer the questions that I have like that. I really want you to take some time and really, really think about it, because the more time you take to answer these questions or think about these questions, the better answers you'll be. And you want to be very, very truthful for yourself when it comes to this presentation. There are no right or wrong answers. There is nothing to be ashamed about. But the biggest piece, once again, is to give you some sort of clarity where you are in your career. And also, one of my biggest draws is to take action. Just don't look at this presentation and say, okay, Eric did a good job. What I want you to do is, based off of the notes that you're taking, which I hope you have a pen and a paper in front of you, the notes that you're taking, you'll really reflect on them and then take action based off of some of the things that I've suggested. Once again, what I'm going to suggest is very easy and it's very simple, but a large portion of the people who come to my presentations, they say they're going to do it, but then they don't. And then unfortunately what happens is they're back in the same place that they were when they first initially met me, which I really don't understand. You know, someone's giving you some very valuable information that can help you out, whether it's in your career or your business or whatever have you. Please take heed to that information and actually put it into good use, because people put a lot of time and effort and energy into putting this stuff together because we want to make sure that we serve you to the very best of your ability, right? So I have a couple of reflection questions for you before moving forward. Currently, while you're looking at this presentation, are you feeling unutilized, uninspired, and unappreciated at your job or in your business? If you are you in a position where you will want to change how you feel about that, but you don't know how? These are two of the biggest reflection questions that I have when I'm talking about this topic, because it's something that you really need to tap in and think about. Once again, no one wants to feel unappreciated or uninspired what they do every single day. I mean, we spend a lot of time at our jobs or in our businesses, so we want to make sure that we are appreciated and inspired every single day. But the most keen part about this question is a lot of people feel like that, but they don't know how to get out, quote unquote, of that rut. So if you are currently in that situation, I empathize with you because I was where you were at a certain point. Once again, this isn't just me researching stuff and giving it to you without experiencing this myself. But if you are in that situation today, you are in the best spot because I'm here to serve and help you. And also, gaining clarity in your career gives a sense of, you know, a huge understanding of what you want to do. And a lot of times when people are feeling lost in their career, just like me, it creates a lot of stress. And creating a lot of stress will basically put you in a position where your health issues come into play. And I've known people who passed away because they were so stressed out because of their job and they really didn't know what to do, which is key because it's okay to be unhappy with your job. But if you are unhappy with your job and not taking any necessary steps to move forward, that's a problem, especially when it comes to your overall health. You know, we are all put on this earth for a purpose. And we also have people in our lives, whether it's a spouse or our kids or other family members that depend on you and want you to be here on this planet. I want you to be here on this planet. But the fact of the reality is, you have a lot of people that are unhappy with their job, which transcends to being unhappy with their overall lives, which creates a lot of stress and discomfort. And you have a lot of people that aren't here today, unfortunately, based off of stress and other health issues that are directly tied to their career. So if you are at that certain point when it comes to being stressed, I wanted to let you know that it is okay. Hopefully this information will definitely point you in the right direction on where you will want to go. But, last but not least, I want you guys to know that you can turn it around. I've seen situations where you have someone who was a lawyer. I coached a lawyer, right? She hated her job, but her passion was the arts. So with working with her, we was able to find her another job working, doing law for individuals who purchase high value art. So there's always a way to combine what you're currently doing and getting you to the point where you want to be in your career. It's not easy, but it's simple. Let me say that again. The transition is not easy. So I don't want to set anyone up for failure thinking that, okay, what I'm going to tell you is easy. Actually, it's a challenge, but at the end of the day, it is very worth it. So with all that being said, the first step to gain the clarity, confidence, and satisfaction you want in your career is ultimately to peel back the professional layers. If you are currently in a career where you don't like, or a job that you hate, even though hate is a strong word, there was a certain point in your career where things started to go south. Now, this is something that this is one of the biggest first things that I take through my clients, because we want to know where the challenge or the problem initially started, right? Now, peeling back these layers, it's rough because it's going to open up some wounds that you did not want to open up. But once again, for wounds to fully heal, sometimes you have to open them up and get the proper treatment and get the proper medicine or whatever have you. As an example, some of the professional layers that a lot of people peel back when they've lost the clarity in their career is a job loss, or they've been overlooked for a promotion. Losing a job, and I'll explain my situation in a second. Losing a job, especially if you're putting all your effort into it, can be a catastrophic event. Not even from a financial standpoint, but from an emotional standpoint, because you have a lot of people that tie their worth to their jobs, even though I know that that's not the best thing to tie your worth to, but we're all humans, and we have some people out there that their job is the only thing that they have going for them. And if the bottom falls out, or if they get downsized, or if they get fired, or however you want to go about it, that is that's a pinpoint that needs to be discovered. Um, Once again, it's painful, but it's a necessary process to go through. Now, let me give you my story, and this is the one that changed the trajectory of my career. On Monday, November 24th, 2008, which is 3 days before Thanksgiving, I was brought into an office, sat down, and told, okay, I'm sorry, Eric, we're going to have to let you go. No warning, no, next steps, anything like that. My bottom fell out. And with me being downsized, I didn't save any money. I didn't have a strong professional network like I have now. I didn't even update my resume every quarter. So I was flying by the seat of my pants when it came to my career. But the biggest mistake that I made was I put my career in my boss's hands. So let me, as a disclaimer, if you are currently watching this, please, please, please do not put your career in your boss's hands. I'm not saying that shouldn't work hard for your boss, or you shouldn't go the extra mile for your boss. But ultimately, you are responsible for your career. This was the mistake that I made, which allegedly let me get downsized in 2008. Was it very depressing? Yes. Was I unprepared? Yes. But it was the greatest experience, because based off of that hardship, I learned a lot of valuable lessons. And a lot of these lessons I'm going to tell you in this session, but I learned a lot of valuable lessons on what to do to maintain my career, because regardless of who you meet, regardless of who you work for, you are ultimately responsible for your career, right? So the second step would be identify your core principles and benefits. What do I mean by that? What's important to you when it comes to your career? Is it having a corner office? Is it making over $100,000 or even more in your career? Your values and what drives you is in any and everyone who's working every single day. You have a lot of people that may not fully know what their values are because they haven't taken the time to think about it, but they are. Once again, some examples of what's important to you. Is it the overall success? Is it money? Is it leaving a legacy? I worked with a particular client who was a woman, and she wanted to become a senior manager. And the reason why she wanted to be a senior manager was because there weren't any women in the senior management team at that particular company, and she wanted to make an example and to prove that a woman could do it. So if that was her, what we identified, that was her driver. That was the piece that, benefited her. So what we did was position her in a way where she got a senior management position at another company. Once again, this is her core values because she wanted to show that other women can be in those roles, which they can. So if you are a woman trying to create a legacy and create a pathway for other women, like I said, you want to make sure that the most important thing to you is your family. At the end of the day, everybody's answer will be different. But once again, you want to identify those core benefits and principles so you can move forward. For me, my core benefits and principles is very, very simple. It's my family. For those that know me, I'm married and with a wife, and I have a 4-year-old daughter, which means the world to me. So at the end of the day, regardless of what I'm going through, me being wired as a provider, I want to make sure that any and everything that I do in my career ultimately benefits both of them. That's plain and simple for me. And at the end of the day, that's what keeps me going every single day. Even the days that I don't want to get up and I don't want to go to a speaking event or a training because I'm tired, I'm worn out. But I keep a picture of my little girl on my phone. So anytime that I'm feeling like that, that's the motivation that I need to keep going. Because not only am I providing for her and my wife, I'm ultimately building a legacy for her to follow, which is huge for me. So once again, whatever drives you and whatever's pushing you in the right direction, go off that. Now, here's one of the first interactive questions that I want to ask you. Now, based off of what drives me, list 2 to 3 of the most important things that drive you in your career. Once again, is it money? Is it family? Is it leaving a legacy? So what I want you to do is take out a sheet of paper. Hopefully you have that sheet of paper right now, right? But write down 2 to 3 things that drive you in your career. And once again, this is not a right or wrong answer. It's just digging deeper with regards to what you want ultimately in your career. Next would be the career clarity building blocks. Now, through my 2-day boot camp, I go through 6 initial career clarity building blocks, but one of the ones that I'm going to talk to you guys now, which is extremely important, is establishing a professional community, meaning networking. Don't get me wrong, networking is the buzzword, but for me, networking sounds very, very mechanical. For example, I do something for you and you do something for me. So what I like to use, whether it's speaking or a client, is relationship building. Who in your core circle or the professional relationship that you are building, how are you helping them achieve their goals? I'm big on giver's gain. And what that means is you give and give to people without expecting anything back. Now, don't get me wrong. It took me a couple of years to mature to that level because in the beginning, my thing was if I did something for you, you owe me, which really didn't bear a lot of fruits. It was more mechanical and I was taking score, which you shouldn't do when you are building your professional relationship, right? The second piece on that, it's about quality and not quantity, right? we're so big on making sure that we have over 500 connections on LinkedIn, or we have X amount of people following us on Twitter. That's all fine and dandy, right? But one of the core questions that I ask someone when it comes to their professional relationships, or just people in general, if your car broke down at 2 in the morning, who can you call and know that they will get out their bed and help you? Now, I want you to think about that, because that's not going to be the 500 plus people within your network, right? So aim to build quality relationships as opposed to quantity. Now, there's a balance. You can have a lot of quality relationships, but focus on a core amount. I've told people, more actually, for example, for me, my core amount, even though I've tried to be very respectful and nice to anyone that I come across, my core uh, group of people, maybe about 50. I mean, I would love to grow that, because there are so many wonderful people in this world. Pretty sure there's a lot of wonderful people viewing this right now, but you can't have 500 or 1,000 quality relationships. It's just not going to work from that perspective, right? And also, when it comes to developing your relationships, make that one of your main priorities when it comes to your career. Now, I'm not saying that you would want to focus all your time, effort, and energy on it, but make sure that you treat everyone, or the core people within your uh, network, like superstars. Everybody wants to be treated like a celebrity at the end of the day, right? So if you go about that and treating that person that you're building a relationship with like a celebrity, they will definitely appreciate that. And the universe isn't mean, right? So you do that, individuals, you'll get that back tenfold. So definitely, when it comes to one of the career blocks, make sure that your relationships are very, very strong. So based off of that, I have a lot of individuals in the room, a lot of individuals in this session that feel that they don't know how to build relationships, right? So what I'm going to give you, once again, get your pen and paper ready. What I'm going to do is give you the 3 relationship building tactics that I still use to this day. Because once again, building relationships and meeting people is like a marathon. But for those who don't have any type of relationships, even though hopefully you do, if you don't have any type of relationships, or a small amount, or you're looking to grow your relationships, here are 3 things that you can do. Number 1, meet 2 new people every week. This world is filled with billions and billions of people. Even if you are living in a small town, or if you're living in a big city, there's people around you, whether it's at a coffee shop, the gas station, at the supermarket, but just make it a commitment to meet 2 new people every week, because you never know who you'll meet. That's one thing, the beauty about people in general. When you meet someone, you never know if they are a high level executive, or they're the individual that can be your next client and can help you out with your job, or generally good people. I mean, as humans, we are wired to connect with other individuals. So what I would want you to do is take the initiative and go out and meet 2 new people every week. Now, also, while you're in the process of meeting new people, you also want to make sure that you're maintaining your existing relationships, right? So what you would want to do is, number 2, check in with 5 people in your network every week. Once again, check in with 5 people in your network every week. And that check-in can be an email, it can be a tweet, it can be a Facebook message. The golden rule is, find out the person that you're reaching out to, find out their best way to communicate. You know, some people, they communicate better with text, so you reach out to them via text. Other individuals, they're better on the phone, so you call them. To make it easier for the person that you are checking in with to respond back, always check in with them in their best avenue to communicate. Once again, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, you have to have an article, or you have to have something quote unquote important to say. One thing that I do, because once we are humans, we all want to be cared for, and we all, once again, always want to be treated like celebrities. So one of the simple things that I do is I just check in with them. Hey, John, how you doing? I'm just checking in to see how you're doing. Hopefully you and the wife and the kids are doing good. If there's anything that you need, let me know. Have a good day. Simple. You have a lot of people that are sitting on reaching out to people because they feel like they don't have anything to say. But caring for someone and checking in, sometimes um, that means a lot more than actually sending someone an article, because when you check in with them, you never know exactly where they are or how they feel. So you checking in with them genuinely can mean the world to them. And then the third piece, even though we are in a world where we have email, voicemail, you can tweet someone, you can Snapchat them, you can instant message them, which is all fine and dandy because having multiple ways to communicate is a blessing, right? However, I still excuse me, I'm a firm advocate of face-to-face interaction. So while you're in the process of meeting 2 new people every week, you're checking in with 5 people within your network every week. Have one face-to-face meeting with someone in your network every week. That face-to-face meeting can be sitting down for coffee, sitting down for lunch, sitting down for breakfast, dinner, whatever the case may be. But have that one-on-one interaction time. Even though we are connected by technology, sometimes the technology, people get so used to the technology, it pulls the face-to-face interaction away. Even though, long story short, take the initiative to have one face-to-face meeting with someone. Once again, you can go to a coffee shop. A coffee shop doesn't cost anything, but you spending that time, whether it's a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, a couple of hours, a day, whatever it is, make sure that within your network, you are taking the initiative to meet with someone face to face. So once again, I know that was a lot of information when it came to the overall roadmap. So let me summarize it again. Number one, meet 2 new people every week. Once again, you meet 2 new people every week. With 52 weeks in a year, you are meeting 104 people. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 104 people a year, which is more than enough, right? Check in with 5 people in your network every week. Once again, check in with those individuals in the best way that they communicate so you can get a faster response, and then have one face-to-face meeting with someone in your network every week, right? Moving along, the next piece to have gain the clarity in your career is to develop new habits, new behaviors, and new disciplines, right? I know at the end of the day, they say it takes 28 days to form a habit, which is true. But so many people resist forming habits. But the individuals that do form these habits, it trajects their career in a way where, it puts them in a good space when it comes to their career, right? And this is so necessary when it comes to the new trail that you're having in your career. Now, if you're trying to change careers, you're going to have to develop the habit of reading, develop the habit and the disciplines to learning new skills, both hard skills and soft skills. So I definitely want to make that a point. But just take the time and do it. And you have to be patient. The world wasn't created overnight. So don't expect for the new habits and the behaviors and the disciplines to gel immediately. But if you stick with it within that 28 days. Sometimes it may take longer for someone. Sometimes it may take shorter. So I don't want anyone on this session thinking that, okay, you're waiting for the exact 28 day. And if it goes to day 29, you feel like you're a failure. No, but the main thing is just stay consistent on the new skills or the new habits and the behaviors that you're trying to formulate. And then it gets to the point where it's second nature. Doing that will give you the self-confidence that you may be lacking. For example, for me, the process that I just took you through when it comes to building new relationships, that was a discipline of mine because I was so distant and I was so to myself that I initially had to force myself to actually go out, meet people, approach people, have conversations with people until it got to the point where it became second nature. Have I mastered it? Not yet, but I am a lot further along than I was in the very beginning. So I'm extremely happy about that. And the last tip, strategy, or whatever you want to have it to gain the clarity the confidence, and the satisfaction that you are looking for in your career is executing your new normal. Now, we've gotten to the point where I've given you a lot of good information, but it's not going to come into fruition if you don't execute on this information, i.e., get off your butt and start to try something. It's okay if you try something and it does not initially work out, but trying something and learning something new and going back into it if it doesn't work is a lot better than you not doing anything at all, right? So anyone can be successful at one thing, i.e., what you've done in the past. But if you're in a position where you want to gain more clarity and more success in your career, you have to execute it over and over and over again. And one of the key things that I do, even when I'm approached to do something new, I still have a lot of fear. I still have some doubt when I initially do it. But at the same time, you have to develop a win mindset. Once again, let me say that again. You have to develop a win mindset, meaning regardless of the outcome that's going to happen, I've won anyway because I took an initial step in the right direction to get something done. And then also, one of the key things that I had to shape my mindset to be, I'm my own competition. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not saying that I am better than the next person who's in my space or just someone else in general. But I don't look around and say, well, this person is doing better than me, because at the end of the day, I'm challenging myself. When it came to putting this summit together, the initial thought that I had was, I would like to put this summit together to help individuals like you when it comes to their overall career. So instead of me looking at other individuals and doubting myself, I put forth the time, the effort, the energy with the help of the wonderful presenters that you've seen thus far and that you will see the second half of the summit, and said, just do it. Did I make a lot of mistakes? You better believe it. But at the same time, I'm learning from those mistakes, and then I will put what I've learned into the next endeavor that I do. I learned a lot I learned a lot putting this summit together, right? But once again, it gave me the self-confidence that I needed to say, okay, I've done this thus far. What's the next level? What's the next thing that I can do when it comes to my overall career, right? So to sum everything up, because I know I gave you guys a lot, when it comes to gaining the clarity, the confidence, and the satisfaction in your career, the first thing you want to do is peel back those professional layers. How did you get to the point where you are in your career? Once again, it may be a little painful, but at the same time, it's necessary. And let me even dig into that a little bit deeper. If it is painful, you don't necessarily have to share that with the world. Share it with yourself, reflect on it, and figure out what you need to do to move forward. The second piece would be identify the core principles and benefits. Why are you doing what you are doing in your career? Once again, is it for prestige? Is it for money? Is it for to create an overall legacy? It can be a combination of all three or whatever you would think of. But at the same time, these are the benefits that you must identify, because those are the key pieces that will help you move forward with your career. Also, learn the career clarity building blocks. Once again, we specifically talked about relationship building. Put forth the time, the effort, and energy to build the type of relationships or to build the type of professional relationships that will not only benefit you in your career, but it will benefit others. Because once again, you as an individual have a lot to give. You're very special, and there's something very special in you, and other people need to be exposed to that. So go out and meet these individuals and build the relationships that are mutually beneficial. Next, develop the new habits, behaviors, and disciplines. This is something that you can't get around, guys. If you want to go down a new path when it comes to your career or rejuvenate your career, you're going to have to learn some new things. Like I said, if it's hard skills or soft skills, but make the commitment to yourself that you're going to learn these things. You do that, it will definitely put you in a better position. And to sum it all up, execute the new normal. Everything that if you go through this process, you'll be in a different space. it may feel a little bit awkward, or it may feel like in a situation where it's relatively new, but still execute it. Because at the end of the day, how you execute things will be the difference between someone just thinking about it and you actually doing it. So guys, like I said, I didn't want to take up a lot of time, effort, and energy to explaining these 5 things that give you the clarity that you want in your career, but it's so necessary. Once again, walking you through this high level process helped me out in my career, and hopefully it'll help you out in your career also. But moving forward, I'm big on helping people. Anyone that's looking at this actual video, what I would want you to do is reach out to me and let me know, based off of the 5 pieces, were you struggling at one of them, or you tried these 5 and you actually excelled? So what I would want you guys to do is reach out to me via email, because once again, email is the best way to get in contact with me. You can email me at info@ericbhorn.com and let me know your experiences or what your current challenges are. I would definitely love to help you out so you can gain, once again, the clarity, the confidence, and the satisfaction you want in your career. Once again, guys, thank you for taking the time out to not only view this session, but also viewing the previous sessions and the sessions that we have coming forward. I appreciate you taking the time to definitely look at this, and have a good day, guys.